Before we even get started, let me just say this right now. Don't do this at home, kids, as far as putting these plants together like this, because it's going to grow crazy out of control very shortly. But I need it to be full and gorgeous in the next 2 weeks when I have a party here. And so that is why I have stuffed these full. But aren't they gorgeous? But I'm going to show you how I plant my containers. A lot of people have asked me what I fertilize my plants with and how I plant things in pots. And almost everything in my garden is in a container. And most of them, well, I would say all of these right here are in their very own container. But I'm going to show you how to plant up a container. And I'm going to break my own rule and put a couple of, well, more than 2 plants in one pot, because I need something to fill in this space right here when you look out the kitchen window for my party that I'm gonna have, because I pulled out some things right here and I got a big blank space. So I gotta have something pretty and that's gonna grow in full and nice within 2 weeks to really make this look nice. So I'm gonna pack them in. I've got a bunch of seedlings and plants that have just been languishing in their tiny, tiny pots. So putting them in a pot together is better than nothing. For my first pot that I'm going to put together, I'm going to put Penta right here in the front and 2 Gulf Coast penstemons that I started from seed, and then this I think it's Korean hyssop. I'm going to put that in the back, and then like in the front I'm going to tuck in some creeping Jenny. So what I use every time I plant anything in a pot is I use Miracle Grow potting mix and I use Osmocote Plus. And here's the pot that I'm going to use. I used to put gravel in the bottom or even shards of pottery. I just don't do that anymore. I mean, hey, if you want to do it, great, do it. I don't want to. It makes the pot even heavier than I can stand, so I'm not doing that. I've filled the container up almost to the top, and I've made kind of initial holes where I want to place everything. Now I'm going to possibly take dirt out or add more dirt in, but here is the Osmocote Plus. I've got a whole thing of it here. I'm not going to use a whole thing. I'm going to sprinkle in there, sprinkle in there, sprinkle in there, sprinkle in there, and there we go. So now I got those in there. Then I just reach in and kind of mix it around right there. Just, so I want them to have all the goodie. The Miracle Grow says that it feeds plants up to 6 months, but you know what? They need extra. I'm putting the big thing, the hyssop, in first, and you tickle the roots, you know, at the bottom when you pull them out if they're kind of root bound, and I pushed it in there and just firmed up the soil. Now I've put the Penta in there, and I realized I had the holes too close together, so I pushed back some of the holes for the Gulf Coast penstemon. So I wanted to show you an example of the Gulf Coast penstemon. You see how the little roots are kind of all at the bottom. They got a little bit root bound. So you just kind of can wiggle them around like that. Just you can be gentle. You can be a little rough, actually. So do that. You want them to want to spread out when they get into the pot. I've got this pot of creeping Jenny that is just trapped here, and so I'm going to dig out a couple of pieces of it and stick it in that pot. All right, so I did have to add a little bit more dirt to it, and I watered it in and I cleaned it up a little bit. But normally I would not pack as much stuff into one pot as this, because all of these things, well, at least the Penta and that hyssop in the back, they're going to get big. And of course the creeping Jenny down here is a perennial, and it'll live forever, and it'll overgrow this pot. But for right now, I really needed something that was going to have some drama to it and get full really quick, since I have a few spaces in the garden that are not full at the moment. There's some spots, but isn't that lovely? And this is going to bloom too soon. It's going to have, I think, like a little pale lavender bloom on it, but that's so pretty. I'm excited about it. All right, I'm about to do another one, and I am going to put the creeping Jenny in first, because it was a little bit of a challenge to tuck it in. So this is my combination. It's going to be Pentas, and then these little things that I don't know the name of. Let's show you. and I don't know how to pronounce that, Catharanthus. And then some coleus that I started from seed. And these things are gonna poof out and be round, so I'm gonna try to angle them so that they'll flow over the pot. All right, so I planted all those things in there. It's looking kind of a little kind of lopsided-y even, but these are gonna form little mounds, and then that coleus is gonna get huge. So just imagine the coleus growing up, 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 and then it'll be more rounder and full in a better way. But yeah, that's gonna be really fun. Yeah, the coleus is gonna take over, and in fact, I added more dirt, and then because there's space right there, I put some very fine mulch in there so that it won't dry out. So I do that when I plant just one plant in a container. I mulch all around it so that it'll maintain the moisture. I'm about to pot out these somewhat twin pots, and it's gonna get so cray-cray. This is really, okay, because here, these are some pink salvia that I don't know how big they'll get. I haven't even seen them bloom. I don't know what color they are. But I got 2 on either side. I started them from seed, and I've got this gorgeous vinca that I love, my new favorite, and then this coleus, which is gonna get massive. And then over here, I'm kind of mirroring the same thing, except I've got coral nymph salvia, and we know how big that can get. And then with the vinca, and then a matching coleus. And then I'm gonna try to get some, of course, creeping Jenny to go down the side to give it some trailing interest. I'm just gonna show you once again, I kind of made, temporary holes where the plants are gonna go. I've already mixed that one in. And so I've just kind of got an idea of where they're gonna go, and I'm gonna mix that Osmocote Plus in there, but I'm gonna start with the creeping Jenny. I've almost used up all the creeping Jenny, and what I've been doing is I've been finding stuff on the creeping Jenny on the edge and kind of teasing it to see how long it is, and then I've been just cutting into it and digging it out so that, look, it's already kind of half rounded where it's growing. So it looks like I've got about 2 more spots right here that I can dig out. And you see how this one's got some good trailing stuff. You know what, I might have some right there that's a little better too. So I've just been taking my little trowel here, and then I just kind of like dig into it right there, cutting it. Yeah. And then pulling it out, and look at how awesome that is. Boom, creeping Jenny. You can see that root system's pretty deep, so I've dug out a pretty deep spot right here, and I'm just gonna put it in there, and it's gonna take 2 hands for me to shove it in, but just put it in there and then arrange it over the side like that, and then I'll clean it up in a minute, but push it down, and I'll have dirt all around it. It will be fine. All right, for my twin pots, I decided I was just gonna put creeping Jenny in the front because these are cray-cray already. I mean, these are gonna get out of control, and if I didn't need them to get big and fluffy within the next 2 weeks, I would never put all this stuff together in one pot, because this is cray-cray. They're all gonna grow, if they live, huge. The coleus especially, it becomes a monster, and then this vinca will spread out, and then I have right here the coral nymph salvia. Y'all know how big that stuff can get. It can get about 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide. So yeah, this will be full in the next 2 weeks, and then I will probably have to pull it apart. But they're all looking so lovely. I'm very excited about it because I needed some color quick in the garden, and this is how you do it.